This year at the fair, I'm sure you've noticed, there are a lot of textiles, fiber art, ceramics, something that is definitely having a comeback. It's I don't want to say a moment because that means that it's brief, but this long overdue attention to mediums that historically have been considered very domestic and, associated with women, but that are very labor intensive, have finally kind of been getting the attention they deserve.
It's kind of been a phenomenon that's been going on for a number of years, this interest in craft, in elevating craft and fiber art and textiles in the realm of contemporary art. There was a big group show at the Whitney 2 years ago now, I think it was.
A lot of it has to do with just the scholarship. The scholarship has finally arrived and people are dedicating time to it.
It's been ongoing, and I think that it really comes from collectors and curators and institutions looking at what was overlooked in the past. And with fiber art in particular, it was really seen as women's work. A lot of artists, female artists that maybe didn't feel that they could make it in the world of the male-dominated world of painting, turned to craft, to fiber as a way to make art. I think that the commercial art world, the galleries are really picking up on it now as a result of seeing more of this in museums, seeing that museums and curators want to bring these artists into the fold, into the conversation of 20th and 21st century art.
So this is a tapestry by Pei White. She studied design and she works with these tapestry weavers in Belgium, the Flanders tapestry makers. This is a new series. She started incorporating fireflies and snails into her recent body of work. And it's interesting to see these tiny creatures monumentalized that juxtapose something like so organic juxtaposed with the industrial aspect of tapestry making, weaving, working with loom.
This is an artwork by Olga de Amaral. She's a 90-year-old artist based in Bogota, Colombia. In 1954, she studied at Cranbrook Academy in Michigan, which is a very well-known art school. She then returned to Bogota and started a very successful fiber art career. She started incorporating gold leaf into her work in the early 1990s after visiting Lucy Rhee, the ceramicist, in her studio. And she had seen that Lucy used gold leaf to repair broken works, and she thought that was really beautiful. And so she started applying that to her materials. With a work like this, she starts with these small linen squares, which she then weaves on a loom. So these little black strands that you see are the threads that are woven on the loom. She then applies gesso, acrylic paint, and gold leaf. And in the center here, you see that she's building up the gesso before applying the gold leaf to get this very solid effect. Some of her other work, she uses materials like horsehair, wool, and they have a much more transparent feeling to them. But she's really been a pioneer in this field for decades. She's constantly innovating. With an artist like Olga, she's already at a certain caliber, a certain renowned caliber that I don't really see her as like an entry point for younger collectors. We're more seeing collectors who I think are interested in geometric abstraction, minimalism, looking at an artist like Olga, who's been working parallel to those artists since the 1950s and 60s as a way to bring fiber art and textile into the collection, into their collections.
Peter Shire was a member of Memphis. He was the only American member. And I think a lot of younger artists now are like in reference of his work because he's kind of like the godfather of Los Angeles ceramics. I think it's very whimsical. It's like very rooted in like Los Angeles culture, like the colors of sky. I would say like California, Echo Park. He was born and raised in the same house that he's living in now in Echo Park. I think since it is so accessible, younger collectors do collect a lot of ceramic work. So I think a lot of younger artists, there's a resurgence of them working with ceramics because it's accessible, it's easy, it's fun, inexpensive for the materials. I think now people are a lot more open to seeing this type of work, and it has more of like a stage, and people are like taking it more seriously as influential art rather than just a craft.
It's a hologram. Yeah, no, I get that. How does it work?